Hello and welcome to the BFNL Football Show, proudly supported by McDonald's, Ballarat and Ballarat Toyota. And also, as always, Nutty, you've joined us here on the show, mate. Footy Operations Manager for the BFL. Massive weekend of action last weekend, mate.
Good to be here, Brades. A couple of ladder-defining games on the weekend, and really looking forward to this week's action.
Now, we'll get straight into last weekend's action. What a big weekend it was. We had Ballarat play down at the Alfred Reserve. This hyped up to be a massive game. Ballarat jumped out of the blocks in the first half, but Redan's class prevailed in the second half, and they ran away with a good victory in the end. Redan 9-12, 66 defeated Ballarat 8-5, 53. Bacchus Marsh played Melton. Melton 13-12, 90 defeated Bacchus Marsh 12-16, 88, so a two-point win there to Melton. Lake Wendouree ventured down the highway to play Melton South. Melton South 25-27, 1-17 defeated Lake Wendouree 9-8, 62. North City 10-10, 70 defeated Sebas 1 straight 6. And the last game, probably the match of the round, Darley in another upset. They've continued on their outstanding form in recent times. Darley 9-16, 70 defeated Sunbury 10-6, 66. Nutty, we'll start with this game, mate. Fantastic result for Darley, and they just keep getting better and better as the season goes on.
Their form's been super, and they're looking, they're shaping up as the biggest threat, I think, to the premiership so far this season.
Yeah.
Finishing on the bottom, not winning a game last year, and the form that they've put together in the last month has just been unbelievable, and look, full credit to all the guys down there and the hard work that they're obviously putting on the track, because it's paying dividends, and they're getting the results on the board. And look, to jump a side like Sunbury 7 goals, 6 to 1 behind in the first quarter, on their own home ground, it's a fantastic effort, and obviously set up the victory for them. A little bit concerning that they could only kick another 2 goals for the remaining of the game, but I think that says more about Sunbury as what it does about Darley, and the quality opposition that they are. So. Look, a stirring victory and a good 4-point win, and they've certainly shown the rest of the competition that they're capable of beating anyone on their day.
And I think that we actually can classify them as a genuine premiership contender now, because they can finish third. They're not far away from third at all, and we know if you finish third, you give yourself every chance of playing in the second semi come the second week of the final. So
we've spoken about it in previous weeks too. There's going to be no comfortable finals games this year at all. It's such an even competition. The top 6 sides, there's nothing between them, and we're in for a cracking final series this year.
You're spot on, shaping up to be a great one. Now, Nunny, Melton prevailed in a really tight contest against Bacchus Marsh. I think pleasing for Bacchus Marsh is that they were competitive. In recent times, they have been blown out of the water in some games. So, and also for Melton's sake, it'd be really good for them to get the 4 points as well.
Yeah, look, a seesawing battle. This one was obviously at Mattingley Park, and it was a fantastic game of football. And Melton were able to get a bit of revenge after their loss earlier on in the season. I think it was in round 2. They lost in the last quarter when they were overrun by a faster finishing Bacchus Marsh side. But to their credit, they didn't allow Bacchus Marsh to do that this time around, and they got the result on the board. So. Look, this has been coming, I think, for Melton in the last couple of weeks. Even though they lost to Sebastopol, I think it was about a month ago now. Since then, they've been far more competitive and played some really good games of football. And this is just a result for the hard work they've put in. Yeah,
and Lake Wendouree ventured down the highway on the weekend, and they got beaten pretty convincingly by Melton South.
Did they? Did they turn up? Or
well, look, they were obviously there. But one thing that we should, I suppose, speak about, Lake Wendouree they've been undermanned all year, there's no doubt about that. Yeah. And without Battistello on the weekend, without Ben Taylor,
probably their two most important players on the
list. And obviously Webby played, but look, they've lost a lot of players in the last 18 months, and I wouldn't be surprised if in the space of 12 months they can turn this form around and get up into the final 6 next year. All of a sudden, you never know, you might get players like McMahon back, Mick Foster comes back from overseas, Tim Malone comes back into the side, Tim Madden comes back. So I wouldn't be surprised if their form can turn around. I know Webby's doing a great job coaching them, and I'm speaking to a few Lake Wendouree people. He's doing a really good job. Just a really inexperienced side, and they're playing some young kids this year, and playing kids for the very first time.
They're going to benefit from it in the long run. You only look at Darley last year; they were able to put 10, 15 games into some of their kids and just play them out for the rest of the season. And they're picking up, like Brad Inglis, for example, has become an integral part to their midfield.
Sure.
And that's probably because he's now in his second season of playing senior footy. So it's a good thing that they're playing these young kids, and they've only got to hold on for a little bit longer. They'll probably get some players back next year, and they'll certainly be back up there.
Definitely. And Sebastopol and North City, disappointing result for Sebastopol, only having 1 scoring shot for the game, and North City continued on their good form, having a really convincing victory.
Yeah, in the bog at Marty Bush Reserve, the grounds are
Yeah.
starting to struggle a little bit with the rain and moisture that's around at the moment. And look, they certainly would have been disappointed only to have kicked one goal in this match against a quality side, North Ballarat City, who we know are shaping up to be a very good contender for the premiership this year. So. Look, a disappointing effort, especially considering how well they went against them in round one earlier on in the season. They were very competitive back in that match, and they'd be shattered at this result.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I reckon the most disappointing side from disappointing result from the weekend would be Ballarat's second half. Ballarat played Redan. I thought, just having a look at the scores, they obviously jumped out of the blocks and have a 5-goal lead in the wet is a massive lead, and I thought they might have been able to hold on to that lead, but they were overrun in the second half by a Redan side that's obviously undefeated. And from a Ballarat point of view, I know I didn't play, but they must have been bitterly disappointed with the way the game panned out in the end.
It wasn't a disappointing performance because they actually played quite well.
Yeah.
It was disappointing to be overrun in the end, and I think that again goes to show how good Redan are, and they never say die attitude, I guess. So they're clearly the best side of the competition so far this year, and but there were signs on the weekend that would suggest that they're not unbeatable as well. But they lost Jared Edwards, I think 5 minutes into the second quarter to a hamstring injury, so it'll be interesting to see if he gets up this week or if he has a weekend off against East Point. It's a pretty important game. Although they're sitting 3 games clear on top, I wouldn't think there'd be any need to risk him. So you'd probably suggest that Jared probably won't play this weekend. But they kicked 2 goals late in the second quarter heading into half time, and I think that sort of changed the momentum of the game and it gave them that leg up. They came out after half time, Ballarat were kicking to the scoring end, didn't kick a goal in the third quarter. So a game could change quite quickly, and we saw that on the weekend.
Just on Redan, I think in previous years they've always been a side that's played the best footy in the second half of the year. And there's never been too much pressure on them. Like I think the pressure's always been on the sides like Sunbury, etc. But I think that's changed this year. The pressure is dead set on Redan. They're clearly the favourite to win this year's premiership. And that's sort of uncharted waters for them, I would have thought, because they've always been the side that's I suppose always hunted the undefeated side.
Yeah, there's always been that attitude, I suppose. Surely they can't do it again this year, but this year the expectation is
definitely it's there.
They're the ones that should win the premiership this season.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that pressure. In the past, they've been excellent at handling that sort of pressure, and I don't see this year being any different.
Just touch on the goal kickers. The Tony Lockett medal. Matthew Sutton from Melton South leads on 45 goals, and in equal second position is Dan Jordan from East Point and Michael Powell from Sabas, both on 37 goals. So you think that those 3 players are probably the only 3 players that could win it.
Sutton's got a very handy lead after kicking 9 on the weekend.
Exactly. Now, Nunny, just moving on to the BFL junior competition, we've got 3 players in Jacob Willingham from Bacchus Marsh, Lee Spiteri from Darley, and Jonathan Neville from Lake Wendouree, all representing Victoria in the School Sports Australia Championships across in Adelaide, which is a great effort by those 3 players, and it's great for the league to have three players representing.
Absolutely, and we always like to acknowledge the players that get selected in the state sides, and through the week we also had Malcolm Niblett from Sebastopol and Lee Burke from Melton South also be selected in the Vic Country side that will play off in the Worksafe Country Championships up in Wagga Wagga this week as well. So congratulations to you guys, and to the 3 boys, Jake Wheelahan, Lee Spiteri and John O'Neville. Great effort at the young age of 15 years old to be representing the state. Yeah, for sure. Now just touching on the senior netball just briefly, Melton had a really good win again over Bacchus Marsh. Melton, they just seem to be going very, very well at this stage of the season. Can they match it with the best sides in the competition? Can they match it with an East Point or a Lake Wendouree come September? Yeah, the 3 games that they've lost this year have all been to the 3 sides above them, but they've been able to beat all the teams below them. So there's still that question mark hanging over their heads. They've attracted some really good players. Brooke Thompson has been a superstar for Melton so far this year. She's been great. And then also I think Melissa McCauley's her name is a goal shooter they've got into the side as well. So playing some really good netball at the moment. They'll be dangerous come finals time, but I think they probably will finish around that 4th mark. Yep. Now the top 6 you'd think look settled with the netball, with Ballarat now 6 points behind. Ballarat will find it tough to make it. Game and a half outside the 6, and I think the game between Darley and Bacchus Marsh really showed the difference in class between Ballarat, the 7th place team, and the teams in the top 6. So I think the top 6 is pretty much settled. Now moving on to this weekend's action, Nunny, three teams have the bye this weekend, so there's a total of 4 games this week. Now this weekend celebrates the partnership between the North Melbourne Football Club and also the BFL. This has obviously developed over the last couple of years, Nunny. Yeah, absolutely. It's a great relationship, and it's helping North Melbourne obviously build their profile and their reputation in the region, and hopefully one day they'll play for premiership points in Ballarat. Yeah. So it's a great partnership that the BFL have benefited from over the last couple of years. We have a lot of North Melbourne players and coaching staff attend our our functions throughout the course of the season, and our interleague jumper presentations, and our awards nights,
season launches,
that sort of stuff. It's been a fantastic relationship, and look, we wish them all the best, obviously, in their endeavours to play finals this year, and it's just a great partnership we've been able to build up.
For sure. Now, looking at this weekend's games, Bacchus Marsh played Lake Wendouree at Madeley Park. I reckon for both these sides, they would view this as a game where they can get 4 points. I think at home, Bacchus Marsh, you think would be a fraction too strong though.
Yeah, Bacchus Marsh were too good for Lake Wendouree earlier on in the season. And I think this game hinders on who Lake Wendouree get back into their side. You know, if they get Ben Taylor back, if they get Matty Battistello back, I think Lake Wendouree may just get the points. But if those guys don't play, I think Bacchus Marsh are in the box seat.
And Melton and Darley. Darley, you can't fault their form in recent times. You think they'd be too strong for Melton at home?
Look, Darley wouldn't want to take this one lightly because we saw what happened earlier on in the season when they took Melton as their opponent very lightly. They lost that game at the start of the season, and look, it's one that may end up costing them a top 3 finish. So, look, I think Darley's form at the moment, you can't go past them because they're just playing super footy. But I wouldn't be surprised. These sort of clashes that always seem to bring the best out of the Melton Footy Club, and they should certainly expect a big contest on the weekend.
Yeah, for sure. And North City played Ballarat at Eureka Stadium, and big test of Ballarat this one. I think if they've got to be competitive, and
must-win match. Yeah.
North City have been really good. They've been faultless really the last 4 or 5 weeks. So if Ballarat can win this game, it still keeps alive their top 3 chance.
Yeah, look, a must-win game for Ballarat if they do want to finish in the top 3. If they lose this one, they're probably looking 4th at the absolute best. But at the end of the day, they're still going to be competitive come finals time. So, look, it's going to be a really good game, and hopefully Ballarat can get up and get the points.
And match of the round for me, I think, is Redan v East Point. East Point have been one of the surprise packets this year. I think a lot of people would have thought at the start of the season, will they make the 6? Won't they? And they're a genuine chance to finish top 3 now. They actually currently sit 3rd. So, a big game for them. Can Redan keep on their winning streak? I think they can.
They've got some big games coming up in the last couple of rounds of the season. This is one of them. And I think on the City Oval it might be a bit heavy, and I think Redan will get the points just.
Yep. And the McDonald's mark and goal of the year, how are the nominations coming along?
Lots of goals coming in. We want to see some more hangers though. So if we've got any nominations for some fantastic marks, by all means please text them in or email them through, and we can obviously get them nominated.
And we always say the BFL live scores application.
Great way to keep in touch with what's happening in the BFL.
Click on the iPhone on the website, Nunny, and download it to your homepage of your phone. So
absolutely.
It's great. I mean, sometimes I've been out of town in recent weeks, and it's great to check the live scores as the game's progressing. Fantastic. Nunny, thanks very much for joining us again on the BFL Footy Show. It's fast approaching the finals, not far away.
No, it's only a couple of weeks out, and you can feel the excitement building.
You can, and once again, thanks so much for Ballarat Toyota and also McDonald's for proudly supporting this show. Once again, thanks so much for joining us on the BFL Footy Show. We look forward to hopefully you guys joining us next week. Bye for now.